Rock, Ahaya, Alam, one planet, Hallelujah. Welcome back to TRU-TALK. I want to talk to my people, as I always do, but I want to talk to us on a more personal level. And I know that I'm on a public platform, so any eye and ear can tune in and hear. I understand that, but to my people, because who know the black experience, like the black man, you know, being black in America, being black in Europe, being black in Africa, being black on this planet, period, or being, as we label as being black people, Negroes. Uh, what does it mean to be black? And who are we? And I mean I mean as a people, because I understand that every black person is not the same. Every black person don't talk the same, don't act the same, don't walk the same. Every black person is not 6'8" with a jumper. Every black person can't run a 4 flag. Every black person cannot sing like Whitney Houston. Every black person can't dance like Michael Jackson. You know, that's understood. But with all that being said, with all that being said, we do have similarities with being who we are. Now, excuse me, before I get started, you see the people on my screen, Angel Reese and Ja, but it's a younger picture of Ja that played for the Memphis, you know, story that happened with him, you know, and all this made me think, what happened with Angel and what happened with him. It's all in the same range. It's all in the same pot, but like basically. And I don't think people can see what's really going on. And I'm trying to paint a picture because we have been taught so much to not be ourselves. I remember I was dating this young lady. You know how it be when you think you in love and you planning your future with somebody, and we wasn't living life righteous. We weren't thinking about getting married and having a baby. We was thinking about just having a baby. And we was talking about, what names that we would name if it was a boy, if it was a girl. And we had got in an argument when I forgot what I said I wanted to name my, if she had a girl for me, I told her I wanted the name to be this. Because as orphans, the love that the child have for the mother is undeniable. And the mother get to carry the baby for 9 months, and that's just the bond that can never be broken. Daddy is gonna be daddy, but mama is mama. So I felt like, hey, I should at least have that right to name my child. And we got in an argument because what I wanted to name my daughter thanks by the Most High, we never had a child together, but she said that the name was Ghetto. And she said she didn't want her child to have a ghetto name. And I thought it was a beautiful, unique name. And it was, a beautiful, unique name. I can't even think of the name now. But she said she liked it, but it was ghetto. And she didn't want her child to have a ghetto name because she said when she go to an interview and she write her name down, or the people that's interviewing her or calling her back from a job will see the name and not hire her. And that's understandable because in America, we deal with that a lot. And my attitude was, I don't care. So she wanted to name our daughter a more Caucasian name so that she feel like she would have a better chance in life. And that's something that too many black people has done. They gave their children the right names. They put them in the right schools. They give it these white ideals, right thinking points, the right talking points, and basically made a child a walking white person with black skin. To this black person don't know who they are and can't truly be themselves because they steady trying to conform into a world that don't accept them anyway. And you see what I'm saying? And my whole idea was I don't want my child to conform. That I believe that my child still can get a nice job or get a nice whatever without how to have a white name. Without, because she's not a white person. She wasn't. And this the question that, and I want to come at this at many different angles. Ghetto, what is ghetto? And what is black? Does black mean ghetto? Or does some people is ghetto and some people are not? You see what I'm saying? Because there's this blurred line between what's ghetto is and what ain't ghetto, and they make ghetto seem to be bad. You hood, you ghetto, so that's a bad thing. And what is hood? What is ghetto? To many black folks don't want to be considered to be ghetto and hood. Do that have to do with changing your name, the way you talk, the way you walk, the way that you act? And when does that not become ghetto, but just who you are, your character as a person? See what I'm saying? Because Caucasians as a race, every Caucasian are not the same. But as a race, they have similarities. There's stuff that they can't do as a race. There's stuff that they uh, do better as a race. As a race, uh, there's a certain way they talk, a certain way they behave. The Negro is the same way. The African Americans, the Hebrews, the lost sheep, the so-called Negroes, we are the same way. Certain ways that we say things, we made it cool. I was thinking of back, how usually it was only so-called Negroes, black people that was saying stuff like chilling and cool. Like white people didn't use that. When I was growing up, Now here I'm in my early 30s, and you see white people on the TV saying, "What's up?" And I'm just chilling and cooling. It's like, man, I wasn't using them words when I was growing up. Matter of fact, I remember being kind of picked at by a white teacher because, when I go to class, all, you know, me and the fellas will say, "What's up?" to one another. And we'll be like, "Nah, I'm just chilling. What's up with you, man? Chilling." And he used to always, a white teacher be like, "Why y'all say chilling? It ain't cold in here. Y'all need a jacket. Y'all say y'all chilly, y'all need a jacket." He used to make jokes like that because we'd be like, "We chilling." And we were like, "Nah, teacher, we just saying that we cool." You're like, "Oh, you want me to turn the air down? You too cool?" We're like, "Nah, we just saying that we all right." You're like, "Why don't y'all just say that still? Just that, what's up and I'm chilling." We were like, "Cause, we got flavor. This is how we talk." And see, but now they saying it in well, that was considered ghetto, you know what I'm saying? That was considered hood, the way that we talk. But now that they saying what's up and chilling, but that's not hood and ghetto no more. Because now these are common things for white people to say. So I just want to make sure that we don't get lost, how they say lost in the sauce, and lose who we are and stop trying to be who we are and try to cater to a place that, since we've been here, we haven't been accepted, especially the Negroes in America. And we have wanted to, Martin Luther King wanted to march and sit with the white people at their table. Well, we got beat down, got our dolls put on us, got our head knocked off, just so we can sit with the white people at their table. We had our own tables and stuff, but we wanted to sit at their table. Now that we sit at their table, it's still not good enough because you too black, you too ghetto, you too hood. So change the way you talk, change the way you look. A lot of our sisters do not wear their natural hair because when it comes to getting jobs, they're not able to get jobs because it's told them it's a messy look. It don't look professional. So my natural hair don't look professional, but the other race natural hair is professional. So if I straighten it out and make my hair look like the other race, then it look professional. So this whole idea of growing up in America has made us really hate ourselves and to conform. And that's why you see a lot of our beautiful sisters does not wear their natural hair. To the point where even black people will pick at you more than the white people. You know, girl, you need to get a palm in your hair. That stuff nappy. But this my natural hair. What you mean nappy? You mean curly? You mean woolly? You mean natural? That's why a lot of our sisters ain't got hair today, because they've been getting their hair permed up since a teenager with that just for me perm, and it done killed their hair to the point their hair can't grow. And it's sad because, boy, if you knew what was in that stuff, they don't tell you what's in that perm. First of all, for anything that you gotta wear gloves that can't even touch your hands or it'll burn your hand, you shouldn't be putting that stuff on your scalp. But this stuff called cancer just killed the hair completely. But women's been putting that stuff in their hair to straighten out their hair to conform because the way they've been told that they look is not acceptable. In other words, ghetto hood. But what is ghetto and hood? I remember a song came out. It was called You Know You Ghetto. Y'all remember that? You know you ghetto. Look at the way you talk. You ghetto. Look at how you walk. You ghetto. And in this song, he went to talking about, you ghetto is this and that. And it was describing my life. It was describing people life that grew up in the hood, as we say, or grew up in poverty, or grew up in Section 8, or grew up in the projects, or grew up struggling, or grew up on the poor side of town. People saying, this is who we are. This is how we survive. And that was just who we was, how we was brought up. And for the most part, if you was that, coming from neighborhoods like that, being around people that look like you and talk like you know, when you around people more like you and yourself, there's something happen where y'all become distinct from any other groups. There's this even thing where, in different parts of the US, they have different accents. If you from New Orleans, you talk this way. If you from Georgia, you talk this way. Depending on what part of the South you from, you talk this and that way. You from New Jersey, you talk this way. You from New York, you talk this way. How do a Californian talk? And they were saying, how did that happen? How can we be all from the same quote unquote country and only be, you know, miles and miles away from each other, you know, but still have a different accent? And they were saying, how that's happened when a group of people been in one area for so long around just that group of people that they develop their own way of speaking. They develop their own way of saying words. And that's what happened to the Negroes. No matter what hood or ghetto you from, you come up with our own slang, our own ways of saying things. It's that ghetto or it's that black. It's that hood. Because a lot of things that are just us as a people to bring us down, to make us feel bad for being us, they'll call it ghetto and hood. Because they don't want you to be you. They don't want you to be black. They want you to be white. A black person that ain't white, they comfortable around. And that is evidence of that. Go to any company where this company got a Negro and it's a big company and this Negro got a high position. He's like a walking white man, or what if it's a black lady or a black man? You know, they don't talk like the average black person. They talk white. And that's a controversy in itself because people would say, well, what is talking black? What does that mean? Because there's this notion that talking white is talking intelligent and talking smart. I heard some black people say that. It was like they'll be talking with this white voice and they'll say, people say I talk white. And I say, what does that mean? Do it mean that I don't talk ghetto? I talk intelligent? I pronounce my words right? It's like, no, it means that you talk white. That if I pick up the phone and hear you talking, I probably think you was a white woman by the way the tone of your voice. You can talk intelligent and still talk hood and ghetto and still be black. And that's the thing because they made us think, or the world feel like, if you talk other than how we talk, you're not intelligent. This whole thing about conforming. that we right and you're not. The way that we talk is the way that it should be taught. The way that you talk, it shouldn't be taught. The way that you do this, it shouldn't be done. Unless we like it, then we'll start doing it and it's cool. But if we don't like it, we'll call it ghetto and hood. And it's just another way of saying that you're too black. You're too much of who you are as a black person with melanin in you. And that's why when Angel Reese, when she said, be you, for all the girls that look like me, that's the message that I got was don't try to be white. Don't try to talk white. Don't try to dress white. You can be intelligent. You can be a man. Look, our people are intelligent and are smart just by being who they are. And definitely don't try to conform because you think you're gonna get farther in this world. And yeah, you may get higher if they like the way that you talk. If they say, hey, this person talk like us and this person act like we act. And they may hire you instead of the other person. But is it worth it? That's when you become a sellout. When you don't be yourself. And then another way I want to look at it was, why was older white men so comfortable to come out against this young lady and to call her stupid and idiot? And I'm not gonna stay on this long, but why they were so comfortable to do that? And I'm speaking to all y'all Negroes that got these platforms, and all y'all do 24/7 is bring down the black woman. And y'all use words like ghetto. Black women are too ghetto. Black women are hood. You know, I don't want no ghetto woman. What you mean you don't want no ghetto woman? You mean you don't want no black woman? You don't want no woman with style, no flavor? What do you mean? You want a woman that was raised in the suburbs that talk and act white? What do you mean by ghetto? Because like I said, ghetto seems to be the word that means stupid and foolish. And that's not what ghetto is. Ghetto is a lifestyle. It's, in a sense, a part of being black. When you come from the struggle, that's who the ghetto people are. That's who they was calling ghetto. But you have these men's, black men's. So, they feel like, I heard a lot of black women say they feel like they ain't got no protection because it seems like many of the black men has tapped on them. But these white men were comfortable to say this because they felt like they could. Because a lot of Negroes are calling our women stupid and ghetto and talking about they passport bros. They gonna go out of country and get them some strange woman. I like that strange woman where you get her that she ain't quote unquote gonna be who she is as a person, which is not ghetto. Or what is that? You mean the blackness? You mean, because there's a certain way that black men carry themselves, and whether if you like it or not, there's a certain way that a Hebrew or a black female carry themselves. And there's a certain way that a white man and a white female carry themselves. You know what I'm saying? So, because a lot of these dudes that like to come out and bash our sisters and say that they loud, they're ghetto, there's this, they're that, and made ghetto to be one way or this way, because when they want ghetto, when people want people to say they ghetto, or when people say ghetto, mostly it's used to be what you call the word, like the word nigger. It used to be that type of word. I can't think of the name, but degrading. There it goes. Used to be degrading to say this person is acting foolish. This person is not acting smart. This person is acting ungodly. And everything that somebody would do that would be foolish or ungodly, instead of saying that's foolish or ungodly, they'll say that's ghetto. And that's where the misconception became, because that's not ghetto. That's just foolish and not talking. They had this thing where they were showing different black people just making a fool of themselves in front of the news camera. Like the news cameras come on and they'll be like, "Oh, let me tell you what happened, this and that." And most of the time they'll be talking to crackheads and people that's drunk, or people that's high or something. And you can tell that they was on something, either drunk or high or whatever. And they'll just be saying stuff and making a fool of themselves. And down the back it was like when the news camera go to the ghetto, and it's like, no, those people are in the ghetto, but that don't represent the ghetto. Now when they go to ghetto, they expect to get, when they get the black people that from the ghetto that's hard working but talk with sense. It don't never be at the bottom. Hey, we in the ghetto. Look at what we talk. You know what I'm saying? So over the years, every negative thing, every time a black person do something foolish, or say something foolish, or act a certain way that was just, ridiculous and funny and hilarious, they would put the label ghetto and hood on it. And to the point where ghetto and hood is being frowned upon. And that's what they want to do. But really, originally, to be ghetto or to be hood was just because you was black. You had style, you had swagger, you talked a certain way. That you was not acting like white because, you know, white people wasn't from the ghetto. White people wasn't from the hood. Black people came from the hood and ghettos. So if you wasn't from the hood and ghetto, more than likely, you was white. And even if you was a black person that was not from the hood and ghetto, they would still call you hood and ghetto because you was black and you had swagger. So that made a lot of black people did not want to be black or act black because that was associated with being ghetto and hood. So they say, I don't want to be hood. I don't want to be ghetto. And they stop being who they really are to be something they're not, to conform, to try to act like a people that they're not. See what I'm saying? And why I got Ja, when I thought about this, how this ties in with Ja, because that's their problem was with Ja all along, was he was being too black, what they call hood and ghetto. I'm just be honest. When I first heard Kyrie talk, I thought he was a white boy. And that goes for a lot of people. What's that dude play for the Rockets? James Harden. He talked like a white boy. Over the years, the NBA been a good job at drafting good players and having them to behave and be a certain way. A lot of these top players that come in, they wasn't like Allen Iverson, and see back then when they came in, these people really from the hood, really from the streets, and they didn't like that. They didn't like them. So over the years, they was able to change that. But these players would actually come in, even though they was black in the face and black in talent. In their mind, it was white. That's why a lot of these players get white women because they don't understand. They're brainwashed. They themselves are white, even though they black. They probably look in the mirror. They so brainwashed and confused when they look in the mirror. They see a white man instead of a black man because they think they're so much not like us. Well, I'm not like them other black people. Them black people, they ghetto, they're hood. I'm not like that. And then you get somebody like Ja, he didn't necessarily, you know, grew up on the rough side. Or now I don't know how his life was, to tell you the truth, but he had both parents. You know what I'm saying? And they think, okay, you got both parents. That's supposed to make him not to be black. That he not supposed to like black music. That he's a young black man. He like jewelry. He like dressing a certain way. He like listening to certain music. He like going out. And they didn't have a person like him in the league for a long time. You think Kyrie Irving went out to the club, or Kobe Bryant, was they talked about how Kobe Bryant, how he just used to, when fellas say, hey, you want to go to the club, we're going to the club tonight, he'll be like, nah, I'm in the gym. And that's what they want. They want you to be so adept. They want, you know what I'm saying? And Ja, he was different. And it wasn't that so much that he was hood and gangster. He was just too black for him. And yeah, on his video, Shannon Sharp would talk about he used to be in the strip club. So there was nothing wrong with Ja dancing and going to the club and being in the club. That's why a lot of people came out to the defense like, man, we did way worse. We used to party all the time. But see, the league changed. Now they don't have dudes partying all the time. They have dudes that uh after they games, they go straight home. But after they game, they in the gym. And they managed to change the culture for it to be like that. And now Ja come along, he one of the dudes young and got money and want to party, and they don't want that culture to come back. So now they trying to crucify him, make it seem like that he's being gangster or bad or trying to be something that he's not. When he's just a young black man with swag that's going to the club, they got chains around his neck, that's dancing to the music. But you would think he was a stone cold killer. The image that they put out, no, you can't do that. You can't be that black. You can't be that hood. You can't be that yourself. So they had to, and I give it to him. Ja gave them a little fire to fight with when he held up the pistol. But like I said, and everybody else said, he committed no crime. He did nothing wrong. He just had a gun with him. And yeah, if you want to say he shouldn't show the gun and hold it up on Instagram, I'm with you on that. But he did do it. But at the end of the day, even though you disagree that he shouldn't did that, it's still not a crime. He still didn't do nothing wrong. Like I say, you go on YouTube right now, you'll see people shooting guns. It's not illegal or wrong to show your gun on video or anything or to have a gun. But just the image that he was portraying. Just who he was too hood. Or should I say too black. And this the line that what is hood, what is ghetto? That's what you gotta ask yourself. Me, I'm hood. I'm ghetto. I'm black. I'm Hebrew. Yeah, I'm that. You won't mistake me for a white boy. I'm not trying to be a white boy. And I'm intelligent and I'm smart. I walk in my blackness. I pronounce words different. A lot of these English words I don't even know how to pronounce. I say forget it. It ain't my mother. It ain't my mother tongue. You know, my ancestors were brought over here. We were forced to learn this language. It ain't our language anyway, so I don't care if I say it right. I'm not trying to pronounce it proper. Matter of fact, I like pronouncing it improper. I like talking slang, putting my own swag to it. I like for you to think that I'm unintelligent, because that gave me advantage. Because you think I'm stupid and gonna fall for this and that, and I see what you're doing. But at the end of the day, family, I just wanted to come on here to say, don't just echo on what Andrew Reid say. Don't be afraid to be you. Don't conform into this world. You know, name your child Sanika and Shaquika and all these names that they say ghetto. You know, even when they use a name, when some of these names come up, they be like, oh, that's a ghetto name. Yeah, I'm gonna give my child a ghetto name. Do you mean ghetto name or do you mean black name? Because if the name is not ghetto, then what is it? Is it a Caucasian name or is it just a name? Because it's mostly black people are named this name, and you calling these names ghetto, and ghetto mean what, a bad thing? That's what I'm saying. Just as they call us niggas, and we took that word nigga and turned it around and made it to be something different, something good between us. That's the same thing we gotta do with everything. When they call us ghetto, turn that thing around. Ghetto is not a bad thing. Being hood is not a bad thing. Being unrighteous is a bad thing. Being unintelligent and foolish is a bad thing. But not being hood and ghetto, I don't have to pronounce words correctly or be heavy in vocabulary, no big word, be able to pronounce big words to be intelligent. And that's one of the things that I learned. I was gonna do that once. I was gonna get a dictionary and I was gonna find out how to pronounce big words and how to say all these big words, because I knew that when I do that and talk to people, that they'll think I'm intelligent. Cause I done fooled people like that before. Just use a couple of big words and they'll say, oh, you intelligent. It's like, no, I'm not intelligent. I just use big words. But that's how unintelligent people are. That you just throw a couple of big words around and they think you're intelligent. That's how people fool you all the time. They have these people on TV with these glasses and they tell you this the smartest man in the world and he just say a whole bunch of nonsense. And all he do is just say big words. And we like, whoa, yeah, he is intelligent. And he ain't no intelligent than the next man. He just got a big vocabulary. He just know how to pronounce big words. So I said, yo, I can play that game. But then the most I put in my spirit, no. I need for you to remain ghetto. I need for you to continue to talking. Because when you talk to your people, they need to hear you as you are and know that you are them, that you're not somebody different. Yeah, that was the point where I was going to try to learn how not to talk proper, to do all that. I was going to do that because I knew how I was looked at as being ghetto and not being smart because of the way I talk. But guess what? I got my inspiration from there was some men that followed the greatest man that ever walked this earth, Yahushua or YHWSHI, our King. His disciples followed him, learned at his feet, and when they went out to teach the word, when they looked at the young men, they said that they can tell by their speech that they was unlearned and knew that they had been with the Messiah. Now I read that, I said they can tell by what? By the way that they talk that they was unlearned men. What does that mean? I said, maybe they didn't talk proper. Maybe they didn't talk like they expect for the college degrees and those that was high priests and graduated from school were supposed to talk. Because remember, these was fishermen and stuff. So it says they perceived after hearing them talk that they was unlearned men, but recognized they had been with the Messiah. So even though these men, by the way they talk, they was considered to be unintelligent, the one thing they recognized was that these men had been with the Messiah. And that's what they need to recognize in us, that the Messiah is in us, that we are his testimony, that he dwells in us. So, just wanted to bring this out and, don't let ghetto be a bad thing. Don't let being a hood be a bad thing. And let's change the narrative. Next time somebody do something foolish and they say that's ghetto, say, nah, that ain't ghetto. That's just foolishness. Don't try to say because what they're trying to say, anything that's stupid and dumb that black people do, oh, that's blackness. That's what black people do. That's ghetto. No, it's not ghetto. Till next time, shalom.